Guys, welcome back to my channel. So after the poll that I had posted on Instagram, you guys decided that you wanted me to give tips and tricks and the way I meal plan. So the first of a couple of steps is that you want to look at your calendar and see what meals you're actually going to be planning for the whole entire family that week. If you have dance practice or basketball or anything like that and you need to have a quick meal that's ready when you get home, you could plan a crock pot meal, or you could do something in the Instapot, something like that that's cooking while you're not at home. Or if no one's home that day and you guys are going to be out and about, put that down on your calendar so you're not buying things for a meal that you're not even going to cook. It's going to save you money. Also, if you have family get-togethers or things like that where you need to bring an appetizer, just plan that as well. Plan your whole entire week. I plan 1 week at a time because I go shopping every Sunday. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit down and figure out what days, after looking in my planner, that I need to actually cook dinner for. After looking at my planner, I have determined that my husband has a Blazers game that he's going to on Wednesday, so it'll just be a smaller, easier dinner for then. And then on Saturday, we are going to a family function that we go to yearly. So this, I have 2 meals during the week that will be smaller and more specific as to what I do. The second thing that I do is I am going to borrow my daughter's whiteboard, and I'm going to take 2 markers and I'm going to go into our pantry and into our freezer to take inventory. When you are taking inventory, if there's something that's freezer burnt in your freezer, throw it away. It's just taking up space. Or if you see something in your pantry that's expired, throw it away. Because it's, like I said, it's just taking up space and you don't need it. While I'm going through the freezer, I am making note of the quantities I have of each thing. So if I have more than 1 pound of chicken, I'm writing it down on the whiteboard just to note how much of what I have. And like I said before, if it's freezer burnt or it's bad, throw it away. Now I'm going to move on to the refrigerator and freezer section, and I'm doing the exact same thing, just noting everything that I have, but also noting stuff that I need. That was the purpose of the second colored marker. Anything in red is something that I need. Last but not least, I'm doing the exact same thing in the pantry. Going through, checking what I have, but also making note of what's bad and throwing it away. I was going through the pantry, I remembered these bread bowls. Last week we had clam chowder bread bowls and only 2 of us ended up eating out of them. So instead of these getting moldy and going bad, I'm gonna put them in the freezer and use them for another time. Now that I have completely gone through everything, I have listed everything in black that I have in my freezer, and then in red, things that while I was taking inventory, I know that we need. So what I'm gonna do with all of this is I'm going to try and figure out meals that I have at least 2 ingredients to make. Of course, you're not always gonna be able to find things that you have at least 2 things for, but try your hardest, and then if you can't find anything with 2 ingredients, do at least 1. So I'm gonna try to find something that has something in here. I already have a couple of ideas, but if you can't find anything or you need help, Pinterest, even Instagram, things like that are great, helpful tools. So the next thing I do when I am planning my menus is I ask for help. This is my littlest. So if you ask your kids to help you pick out meals, they're going to be more willing to eat the stuff that you make, right? Child involvement, they love it. So I always have Kennedy help me figure out what kind of stuff we're gonna make. Also, with children involved, I make 1 meal and 1 meal only. You make your kids picky eaters. If you tell them that food isn't good, they're gonna think it's not good. But if they eat things since they were little, they're gonna be more likely to eat it. Obviously, if there's dietary restrictions, if your child has to be gluten-free or is allergic to anything, obviously you're gonna have to do differently. this is the final menu that we ended up coming up with. I got a little extra help from my older daughter who snuck in at the end. And this is the short list of things that I need to get at the grocery store. It doesn't include fruits and vegetables and the essential stuff that I get every time. But this is the list of items that were left from the inventory that I took that will be there for me next time. The last thing that I do is I rewrite down the list. I know it's kind of not very green of me, but I write down my list in order of the grocery store for a couple of reasons. It makes your shopping trip more efficient if you have to take your kids with you. And also if you know that you don't have to go down a certain aisle, you're not gonna buy something off of that aisle. So it saves you a lot of money in the long run. If I don't write anything down for the chip aisle, I'm not going down the chip aisle and the snack aisle because personally we don't need it. So it makes you eat healthier and it's gonna save you a ton of money. So now I'm going shopping. Don't forget your bags because here in Portland, they do charge you. So another way to be a little bit greener is I do grab my reusable grocery bags because the grocery store that I go to gives you 6 cents off per bag that you use. So it's great savings. I just got back from the store and I am going to start putting all of this away, and I'll explain the process of how I do that. But since I threw all of the bad stuff away before I left, I get to just come home and put this all away where it goes. With my pantry, I try to group everything together so that everything has its own place. What I do is I start from the top and work my way down to the bottom of stuff that I use the least down to the stuff that I use the most. Up at the top, this is our oldest daughter's basket where she keeps like all of her food that she's bought for herself, just so her dad doesn't snack on it. Then we have paper towels and just kind of like entertaining extra cups, plates, napkins, silverware, stuff like that, and that I've had from past parties that is great with camping or whenever people come over so you don't have to do dishes. Then on the next shelf, I have all of my decoration stuff for making cookies, cupcakes, sprinkles, whatnot. All my mixes are together, and all my flours, sugars, and chocolate chips and things like that are together. These are chalkboard stickers that if I wanted to change this into something else, I totally could. Super easy, just wipe it off with water. I got those on Amazon for like $5. Then I have extra chicken broths, all the sauces that we use, and I always get extra of like mayonnaise, mustard, anything like that. I'm a total, when something's on sale, I buy it. Like today when we went grocery shopping, Winco had corn and green beans on sale for 50 cents a can. I already had like 3 each, but I always get them to keep my pantry stocked of if we get snowed in or if I can't make it to the grocery store one day. You always have these staples on hand so that you can make something quick and easy. Same thing with pasta sauce. You can make spaghetti and meatballs. You can make spaghetti. You can make a soup that's tomato based just by watering this down with some chicken broth. So this is my canned foods on the next shelf. And then we have like SpaghettiOs and whatnot. I tend to keep the bread a little bit more organized, but we needed some extra bread for this week's menus. But I usually keep it in the back corner so that it prevents it from molding quicker. And then top ramen is a big hit in our house, and then pasta. The next shelf, I try to keep everything super organized and labeled. These are labeled with Expo markers. I didn't like the way that the stickers looked on them, so I did Expo markers instead. A tip for my coffee drinkers. These are old coffee creamer containers that when I am done using them, I wash them out and I use them as storage. Brown rice, I wrote the directions right on them. And then with my white rice, I can never remember how to do it, so I just stick it on the back. But super easy, and reuse your old things. Please don't make fun of me. I broke my lid to my flour canister the other day making fried chicken and have not had a chance to even look for a new lid, so makeshift there. But these two shelves over here, my bottom two shelves, are things that Kennedy knows. My youngest child, she knows that when she's helping mommy pack her lunch, that she can pick from these. So her chips, cereal, crackers, all that stuff is within reach of her. So it makes it easier for her. Then we have lunch bags, my energy drinks for being on graveyard, and then her drinks. So a couple of my friends asked me off Instagram the other day how I keep all of my appliances off of my counters. I have a huge pantry. I'm super blessed in that area. And I keep them all on the bottom shelf. I use them all the time. They're super heavy and I'm really, really short. So instead of putting them up at the top, I put them at the bottom so that I can easily keep them clean, dusting them off. They're easily reachable for everyone. And then this bag right here is all of my reusable grocery bags. Like I said earlier, I am super blessed with the huge pantry that I have. And I know not everybody has that available to them. One thing that I can recommend is if you are going to use your kitchen cabinets as your pantry, make sure that you use like an area like this right here where I could use the top shelf and my drawers. You could use your drawers for your bread, canned goods, even your produce if you wanted to, or vice versa. You could use a big cabinet. But the major recommendation that I have is if you are going to use your kitchen cabinets, have a central area. You don't want to be going 4 or 5 different places to be doing your inventory for grocery shopping. It's just annoying. My refrigerator, I kind of do the same thing of everything is I base it off of shelves. So I have like all of my condiments. Our family is obsessed with pickles and pickled peppers. So we have 4 different kinds of pickles, banana peppers, pepperoncinis, jalapenos. I usually try and keep leftovers all on one shelf so they don't tend to go all the way back to the back of the refrigerator. And 4 months later, you're trying to figure out when you had these. I normally do not keep my tortillas in the refrigerator, but when I was taking them out of the cart at the grocery store, I tore this off on accident and I was too lazy to go get another one. Keep your cheese and lunch meat in a drawer that closes, because if you keep it in the drawer and the temperature is constantly changing, it's gonna go bad quicker. Then again, for easy access for my little one for her lunches, I will wash and cut all these tomorrow. I just don't have time tonight because it's getting late towards bedtime. But she knows that she can just go grab those for me when we're packing her lunch and she can help me out with that. Then we have vegetables, and I keep lunch meat on the bottom. In case anything drains, you want it to go to the bottom of the refrigerator instead of potentially draining on other things. So if you had meat, raw meat that you were going to use within the next couple of days, I completely suggest putting it at the bottom of your refrigerator so it doesn't drip. I have a pretty small freezer in the house. I do have a chest freezer outside. So what I will do is just anything that the kids eat for lunches or breakfasts or stuff that like French fries and things like that goes in here. But it's usually just bread, stuff that's easily accessible for me when I'm cooking dinner rather than having to go out in the garage. All right, guys, well, I hope all those tips and tricks were super helpful with planning your menu and also organizing it once you get all your groceries home. So I hope you have a fantastic day, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.